Liege Representative. The welcome procession is not particularly long, but it does attract attention. Everyone is dressed in their finest apparel, every button gleaming. Standing in front of the others is a woman with clearly expensive implants. She bows in a solemn curtsy. Rogue Trader Footfall welcomes you. On behalf of the Liege Lord, Vladim Takara, allow me to express my joy at your arrival. The Liege awaits you at his residence, but should you have other business to conduct on the station, I will be honored to serve as your guide. Cassia's lips curl slightly. This is so familiar. Behind the amber-colored scattering of words of welcome, far less appealing hues lurk, murky and diluted. The look of someone accustomed to lying and hiding their intentions. Yeah, she works for a crime lord, basically, right? Idira jerks her head, shakes it, and hisses through her teeth. Someone's coming, and they're coming for us. Watch out, Lord Captain. Abelard sighs and casually places his hand on his weapon. Who's coming? Judging by the voices, there's a lot of them. Angry. They've got teeth, but they aren't that sharp. Their strength is their numbers. Pray, what are you talking about? What could you mean by such a cryptic pronoun? She doesn't get to say the rest.
Hey, newcomers!
Oh my god!
How's this for a warm welcome?
It's not very warm. Oh my god!
The Emperor is with us!
The Armored Anver. Okay, Cassia, looks like you got a pretty good roll. So did Idira. Alright. So, I have no idea how to use any of this shit. Okay. All creatures within the area of effect and limited range. Grand Strategist marks an area of 4x4 cells in the battlefield. The front line. All allies in the front line gain plus 11% bonus to armor, and all enemies suffer 13% more damage from any source. Okay. This turn I get to choose one for all of these, right? There's our front line. Marks an area 5x2. All allies in the back line gain plus 11% cover efficiency and dodge, 18% dodge reduction. And rear. Allies in the rear area deal 11% range damage and 9% over penetration, 9% critical hit chance. Okay.
If I may.
Seriously? I've always hated games that don't take corners into account. You should always be able to do line of sight around a corner like that. Always. That's absurd.
I'd rather not.
What a fucking waste.
No!
Okay.
Anything else?
Okay, 3 went over to him. I'm gonna blind you.
Reduce to dust!
Get him.
It will be done.
Okay, remind myself. Empowers their next attack to deal plus 4% additional damage for every stack of tactical advantage the Master Tactician has. He loses half of their stacks of tactical advantage, rounded up. And right now it looks like we have 15. Okay. 43. 43. $115. Oh, let me see. So boom, we take a bunch of stacks here. Okay. Oh, dude, I didn't realize that was a 19%. I should have done the better one. Okay, so that was a huge waste. Cool. It is what it is. Single shot ignores cover. How does that look? 95. Now, if I do this and use this. Then I've used up too much and can't do much of anything. Cool. I'm doing terrible. I'm making all the wrong choices. Watch your AP, Ben. Watch your AP.
I took care of this one.
Momentum.
As the Emperor commands, I act. Each strike
Well
is a
done.
prayer.
Okay, well done, well done, well done.
In thy light I stand, and thy
I should
light
get 3
I
shots?
crave. This is why I was chosen.
Can't be missing 95s, girl. You could have killed that one. too far away to reach you. Okay, those are just workers.
Me, if you insist, Lord Captain.
Okay, that should immobilize. Okay, there's that at least. What else does it do? Cannot use abilities that move them around. Okay, it's just all about movement.
No can do.
Huge amount of damage.
Was that you? Or
No mercy for heretics!
Well, sorry to that guy.
Careful now.
Okay, these guys have lower health. Yeah, no, it is better for me to...
I will do my duty.
What is the hit chance? Oh, I guess you can't see her? Alright, I don't know what sightline that's all about, but whatever.
He's as good as done. You never stood a chance.
Okay, we have 30 stacks right now. Okay.
Accept your lot.
God Emperor, move through me. Be the fire in my heart. Doubt is for the weak.
Didn't even realize that guy was gonna be in that. I'll take it. I will take it.
I'll do it. As the Emperor commands, I act. Faith without deeds is worthless. I'll do it.
Okay, odds weren't in our favor, but still would have liked that to have gone a little bit better. I don't think anybody's in range of that.
I'll see to it
you are.
personally.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
I'll make it happen.
This is unacceptable.
Okay. From this side, is it a better chance? Yeah, 62's better. We'll take it.
None can escape the Emperor's judgment.
Gosh, he's not missing right now. Well done. Okay. The shivering young servant looks up at you with horror in his eyes. Emperor, protect me. They killed. Every time I warn them and then they go all, dear Emperor, our Lord and Savior, how could this have happened? Who could have thought? Adira spits on the ground in annoyance. Let's see. Stop quivering, unwashed worm, and answer me. Who would dare to attempt such an outrageous attack? Your lordship, these guys were Anvers. They're a gang. They're the worst, I'm telling you. They're scared of no one, not even Liege Takara. He glances around, like he's expecting more bandits to appear. Does this kind of thing happen often around here? Shooting, yes. Attacks on nobles, not very often. Unless it's the Anvers, they're vicious. Not a week goes by without them killing and gutting somebody. They're wicked heretics. They respect nothing. They follow no rules. Go and report this to your liege. Yes, I'm sorry, your lordship. I'll just go report to the liege. They killed her. They killed my lady. Oh, this is terrible. Yeah, I feel really bad for her. That was brutal. Okay. Okay. 7 to 11 versus those 7 to 12? Okay, we'll have to check those, we'll have to check that, and a combat shotgun. Ooh, that looks pretty good. We'll have to see if we want that on anybody. Okay. You're wearing medium armor. How does this compare? 35%. Okay. Alright. Okay, that's not better. Nine to 11. Life-draining sword. When did we get that? Oh, it's for heretical only. That's our issue. Okay. Gains visions of death. The ability is also available in its heroic and desperate forms. Have we ever checked what that is? Guess you don't get to see that there. Target must pass a willpower resistance test. If the test fails, the target suffers Psyker staff power level plus Psyker Psi rating plus 30% of the target's current wounds mental damage. If the test succeeds, the target instead suffers Psyker stave power level mental damage. Okay. Maybe that could be an alternate option for her. We're gonna give you that shotgun. Okay, heavy bolter. Alright, I think we have a reason to invest in a heavy weapon thing that will reduce the requirement for this. Okay, we also probably need to work on her strength. Rate of fire 8, huh? Okay. Okay, frame rate is a little low in this area. Okay, so this area is struggling a little bit with Ultra. I wonder if maybe I need FSR. Let's try an FSR Ultra quality and see what it does. Yep, looks like we're hitting a solid 60 now. We're gonna try that for a while. Doesn't look too bad. Ultra quality, let's see. FSR sharpness. I'm gonna put it to its extreme just so I can see what the major differences are. I don't think that looks bad. On YouTube, I wonder if you'll even be able to tell a difference, honestly. I'm gonna just put it in the middle. A little bit of extra sharpness, but doesn't need to be all the way up. Okay. Man, there's just like dead people all over the place. What is this? Oh my goodness. Enforcer Light Carapace. Armor 25. Character wearing this, so it's a light armor. Cool. Dodge 35%. Is that an upgrade for you? Not really. How about anybody else? You're wearing a medium. Okay, so that's not an upgrade for anybody.
Keep your wits about you.
Opticon 22. We need no rules or leaders. We are not an organization, we are a force of nature. ANV. Okay, so that's the Anvers.
I always have a backup plan.
Can we go through that? No.
Let us not dawdle.
Okay, there's numbers here. One of them's broken. Interesting. Okay. That's something for later, I suppose. Ragman. Take this rubbish back to where you found it. I won't accept it. Don't even ask. Internal report. I'm writing to inform you that 2 days ago, the discharge was interrupted by a raid launched by the Anvers gang. In the attack, 3 loader servitors were put out of commission. Furthermore, 1 cargo container, serial number blah, was stolen along with its contents. And yes, blah was the serial number for that. Thank you very much.
Rise to the top or get left in the dust.
Commerce. The container is labeled Destination Janus. It is covered in dust. It must have spent a long time at the docks.
Is there money to be made?
At first glance, these look like standard containers, but their frames have been reinforced and their sealing improved to keep the smell in. These are used to transport contraband. Okay, dead guy with a memo. Strange memo. The holy book by the altar. That void damn customs guy. He's always on duty. Does he get any time off? Does he ever leave for a piss? Is he a servitor or something? 3, guess what? 4, hanger by the window. Remember to bow to the emperor through the window. Okay. Finest wines from Janus. Hangar A1.
I always keep my options open.
So is there something that we can do with Opticon? Oh, you can talk to him. I thought I tried, but... The tall, hunched tech priest stares at you unblinkingly. A breathing mask conceals his gaunt features. The skin on his hands is of a sickly gray hue, while his augments show signs of combat damage and are planted in black chromium, giving him a general air of lugubriousness. That's the word of the day, huh? Initiating identification procedure. This unit is defined as Logis Opticon 22 and is a fully authorized representative, structural part of the Cognizance Fleet and the priesthood of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Access has been granted to the following options: information exchange, strengthening of diplomatic links, trade deals, donations. Initiating official greeting procedure for esteemed high-value visitors. Glory, success to House Valancius. A Veneric aria begins to flow from the scratched vox attached to the tech priest's chest, requesting information exchange regarding contractual obligation Logisticar Theta. Pascal and Opticon 22 exchange glances in a short series of Veneric signals before bowing their heads in satisfaction. Opticon 22's head bows noticeably lower than Pascal's. Alright, let's make a trade deal. Alright. Some stims. Immediately gains +4 MP and +4 AP for the next turn. Their MP and AP are reduced by -2. Okay, cool. Immediate access for long-term loss. Deflection gloves. These gloves allow the wearer to parry melee attacks with their ranged weapon using ballistic skill instead of weapon skill. Okay, that's cool. Machine right set. And a target designator. Whenever the wearer hits an enemy with a Deadeye shot, it reduces the enemy's deflection by -1 and applies +1 exploit until the end of combat. Stacks up to 3 times. Okay. What is Logistar Theta? Logisticar Theta? Under the contractual obligation in question, 34.761 Terran cycles ago, the Explorator Cognizance Fleet received from representatives authorized units of the Von Valancius dynasty a volume of high-grade promethium equal to the fuel capacity of 6 Tintalian void tankers. Received it and then didn't pay, compensate, remunerate, settle accounts. Should I go on, or is that enough synonyms? The stipulated payment reciprocal offering from the Cognizance Fleet can be made to Von Valancius assets at the current time, after which the contractual obligation will be fulfilled, archived. Confirm your status regarding acceptance of the payment reciprocal offering. You waited 30 years to pay? Execution of payment reciprocal offering is in accordance with the specifications of the contractual obligation. Allocation of assets from the holdings of the Cognizance Fleet was initiated when the tankers reached the main squadron. 14.905 Terran cycles after the initial transaction. The asset allocation process concluded 2.663 Terran cycles later. Transportation of assets to the Furibundus system took 16.862 Terran cycles. Final delivery of assets at Footfall took 0.331 Terran cycles. Clever. If you had been purchasing fuel for a squadron at the other end of the Imperium, you may never have had to pay at all. We would have turned to dust before you made it there and back. You were saying that my dynasty has had extensive business dealings with you. This statement is true. The Cognizance Fleet concluded 1,292 contractual obligations with the Von Valancius dynasty as represented, led, administered by the counterparty identified as Theodora Von Valancius. The most substantial was Pact 8 Yule, in accordance with which Archmagos Cubus Delphum, Data Usher of the Sevenfold, hallowed workshop of the sacred world of Euphrates II, was transferred to the planet Kiava Gamma to perform the duties of minister as its fabricator censor. The services of such a highly enlightened, enhanced, authorized servant were recompensed via the offering of paid for with a 7-year contract granting the fleet's exploration vessels maintenance privileges at the Kiava Gamma facilities. Well, that is true. In the last couple of decades, Lady Theodora took pains to form a strong relationship with the Cognizance Fleet. She turned down a dozen candidates looking for the right tech monitor to watch over Kiava Gamma. What payment can I expect? Universal Mobile Orbital Deployment Extractiums, Astra Eridor processing complexes in the quality stipulated in the contractual obligation. Each unit has undergone a cycle of maintenance liturgies and has been assessed for conformance to the sacred standard template construct. Great creations of the Omnissiah, blessed be his beneficence, which is bestowed upon these complexes industrial might and full cycle of reproduction and life support. I confirm I am willing to accept the payment. The request is accepted. The sacred machines will be loaded into the hold of your vessel. The contractual obligation Logisticar Theta is concluded. The Cognizance fleet thanks House Valancius for its cooperation. Mobile extractium ×2. Oh, is that what we needed to start extracting from the planets? I seek the friendship of the Adeptus Mechanicus. The priesthood of the Adeptus Mechanicus is interested in considers expeditious cooperation with rogue traders. Under the terms of the Treaty of Mars, it is willing to provide services to the Von Valancius dynasty. The priority of service tasks can be raised if diplomatic links are strengthened. The Cognizance fleet will be glad alternative on any samples of sacred technology, samples of profane xenotech, miscellaneous items, reminder, storage, study, and or disposal of the aforementioned objects, with the exception of miscellaneous items, is the preferential right of the Adeptus Mechanicus. The Explorator's fleet will also accept information about planets in the Koronus Expanse that have not previously been recorded in the planetary register. Okay. So we can get their reputation up by giving them information on a planet. Why do you want information about planets? Omnifaceted study of the Koronus Expanse is the sacred mission operation objective of the Cognizance fleet. Information about the planets and star systems of the Koronus Expanse will be compiled, studied, and transferred to the holy repositories of Mars upon completion of the Great March of Exploration mission. This process increases the totality of knowledge and decreases the totality of ignorance in the universe. Okay? Apparently we don't actually have anything on our data slate about a planet, so maybe we'll look at that again later. Why are you interested in xenotech? Isn't that heresy? The Cognizance fleet finds it reasonable to believes that forbidden knowledge in the hands of the laity causes destruction and violations that go against the Omnissiah's will. Weakness of mind and will unleashes xenoheresy, which consumes the laity whole. An example that demonstrates the outline pattern of Void Station in the system of Langren's Belt. According to the data available in the Cognizance fleet, the heretics on the station have trade relations with Xenos for the sake of obtaining dangerous and pernicious technology. The destruction of these heretics is of high priority, but not high enough to demand immediate action. Okay? I have some questions. Opticon 22 is a strange name. The designation's Opticon is an identifier with an illustrious history, a significant number of archive reference, and is used by many explorators of the Cognizance fleet. The extension 22 is a custom edition made by the current unit designed to highlight the unit's unique personality. Okay. What are you doing in Footfall? This unit performs residential representation, maintenance of the bureaucratic machine for the purpose of ratification of the insulating boundaries, management of the Kappa feed supply line, compilation of astrographic reconnaissance data. Abelard lets out a long and heavy sigh. There was once a tech acolyte in Lady Theodore's retinue who knew the unique language of the esteemed tech priests. I only began to realize the true value of his abilities after he'd been devoured by a xenobeast on some nondescript world. You seem to be speaking Gothic, but the informational capabilities of Flesh Speak are lacking. Opticon 22 is silent for a long time, then he says, I function as the fleet's diplomatic mission, oversee shipments, and ensure that the laity does not encroach upon the explorator's sphere of interest. Okay.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Okay, the walls of the container have rusted and its contents rotted away. A situation that is not uncommon for shipments trying to pass through Imperial customs. Leaflet, now is our time, not theirs. Go to their homes, drag them out of their beds, carve open their bodies like carcasses at a slaughterhouse. Oh, lovely. The Imperial Navy, Kespalica, Corda, Von Valancius, their names mean nothing now. Tomorrow will erase them from memory. Go and seize power as much as it can, and as much as you can carry. Okay, this feels like a very much eat the rich sort of organization. Life of St. Drusus, Volume 3. Test succeeded. A small altar, the central spot, has been given to Drusus, a saint from the neighboring Calixus sector who is widely revered in the Koronus Expanse.
Keep your wits about you.
A rank 5 functionary, Morbeccio Cavalli. I know exactly what that means.
Rise to the top, or get left in
What's
the
that?
dust.
The container is marked foodstuffs, but it is empty and by the looks of it has not been moved in a while. The wearer and their allies are immune to damage from the wearer's grenades. I don't think that's better than what anybody has currently. Is there anybody who doesn't have? No, we got cloaks right now, so we're good on that front. Oh, I don't know if I actually wanted to send that. I just saw that it had a percentage to the cargo and thought, why not? Whoops, my bad. We'll check that. We'll go to the cargo and try and check that. Let's see. To parry melee attacks with their ranged weapon using ballistic skill instead of weapon skill. Okay. That might be good for you, but is it better than what we've got? Probably not. Okay. Okay, another one of those leaflets. We are not able to reach that yet.
I always have a backup plan.
Shadow quarters or the atrium? I guess our first goal is going to be the atrium. Okay. Wearer of this cape is immune to burning. Whenever the wearer ends their turn, burning is removed from all adjacent allies. Okay.
I beg your pardon.
Test failed. Too elegant for their surroundings. Okay. Can't win them all. Is that going to be marked as loot? It is, isn't it? Okay, we're going to pick them up. A stall selling old knickknacks for everyday needs. Instigators. A buzzing crowd has closed in on several harried-looking individuals. Some of their faces are smeared with fresh blood. The angry cries and twisted faces leave no doubt a massacre is about to take place. Just cut their throats already. What were they thinking letting that ship dock at Footfall? They're all stricken. No cutting. We get their blood on us, we'll be tainted too. Better burn them. Hieronymus Doloroso, be quiet, you scoundrel. A priest clad in a simple black raiment cuts through the crowd like a void ship crossing the sky. You dare pass judgment on others? What arrogance to think you have the right. He has a portrait, so he's gonna be important. I think we did hear his name earlier too. Argentus starts at the side of the elderly priest. Ah, yeah, she was the one who mentioned it. That's Reverend Hieronymus. I'm surprised he's decided to intervene in a street squabble. We're gonna watch in silence. Reverend, but these are heretics, real heretics. Their whole planet is plagued. Folks say they all died over there. And why is that, huh? Because they're heretics and the Emperor punished them. We are no heretics. One of the people surrounded by the crowd raises his chin. We ran from the heretics, barely escaped with our lives. And there was no plague to our planet. Only the archenemy's minions, a whole army of them. He spits on the ground, and if you want to blame anyone, blame those who abandoned our world. Blame the governor, blame the tech priests, blame the masters of Kiava Gamma who forsook it in its darkest hour. Okay, what's going on here? Gaze is born to you? And who are you supposed to be? A rogue trader of Von Valancius dynasty. The rabble-rouser's expression changes completely, and he makes a clumsy attempt at a bow, then crumples to his knees. Your lordship, I'm sorry. Sorry for not recognizing you. You see, it's just that it's your first time on Footfall, and we didn't know. Terrified, he falls silent. We were just rooting out heresy here. These scrawny ones, they're from the ship that came from the bowels of the Koronus Expanse. They've got plague there, and mutants. And now they're spreading that rot everywhere, that taint. They're all... Silence. You must be completely out of your minds, a band of woefully dim-witted reprobates who think themselves bringers of justice. Who are you to pass judgment on anyone? All you ought to be doing is suffering and repenting till the end of your days. And what's so wrong about that, Reverend? We just want to put these heretics to death. We're not heretics, the haggard man on the verge of tears. We're refugees. I swear it on the Golden Throne. We served the Imperium, faithfully, until they hung us out to dry. Where were the protectors that were meant to shield the lands of humanity from nightmares? Traitors. Traitors and heretics, the lot of them. A murmur runs through the crowd. The people gawk at you, at the priest, at the wretched group huddling in the center. Oh, how tiring. The motley sea of colors that fills this restless crowd is hard on the eyes. So many hues, but most of them are acid yellow streaks of fear, their red buds swelling, ready to burst and paint all who are gathered here. Cassia looks at the crowd of troublemakers warily, and they shudder at the very sight of her. As for the hearts of those who have been forced to defend themselves, they are shrouded in purplish-black grief, and their words are as transparent as the ice that lies on the top of a glacier. But commoners are always deaf to other suffering, for such is their nature. Interfering in their affairs is hardly worthy of you or me, analog vernacular. All onlookers are to return to their homes immediately. The refugees can go to Dock Alpha Row. I will speak to you later. Comply or face the consequences. None of the people dare defy you. They back away carefully, trying not to look at you. The refugees use the interruption to make off in the direction of Dock Alpha Row. The arrogance and self-righteousness of a malefactor. The priest shakes his head disapprovingly. Then his eyes shift to you. I am Reverend Hieronymus Doloroso, head of the Drusian mission here on Footfall. I thank you for stepping in. Please come see me when you have the time. We can talk then. Okay. Small food booth.
Is there money to be made?
Warp Strider of the Koronus Expanse, may the world tremble. The wares here are shoddy.
Let us not dawdle.
Okay, use the cogitator. Access received. Don't know what this gives us access to, but let's go and get it. Get those goods. Unyielding Vanguard Boots. All allies in a 2-cell radius around the wearer gain plus 40% bonus to resolve from the Unyielding Beacon ability instead of the original bonus. Who has Unyielding Beacon again? That was Vanguard?
Sometimes you consult the appropriate treaties on Tactica Imperialis and weigh every step. Sometimes, though, you just fire your biggest cannon and save the day.
I don't remember what had Unyielding Beacon.
I have a nose for profit and a taste for adventure.
They fear to look at me because...
What advice do you seek?
Yeah. Okay. So it'd be for you, Abelard.
Your seneschal is always there for you.
And this does what? +1 stack. Each stack increases the resolve. Maximum plus 15. 2-cell radius around the Vanguard gain 1/5 of that bonus. Honestly, I think I'd rather him just get the chance of getting bonus MP. Like pretty flowers overgrown with weeds, the halls of Footfall's former palaces and temples have been overrun by the shabby houses of present-day inhabitants. I mean, if that just moves us over, is that even worth the check? Especially if you can take an injury if you fail.
Keep your wits about you.
In this mishmash of devices and cables, you notice equipment from totally different eras. Some ancient, some merely old, and others hastily tossed together in more recent years.
I always keep my options open. Always keep your eye on the price.
Okay, just wanted to see if there was any kind of check for anything down there. Perception check.
Is there money to be made?
The sight of this cogitator would be enough to break any tech priest's heart. The machine is leaning slightly to one side, grimy, covered in scrawled drawings, with frivolous writing scratched here and there on the casing. Several keys are missing, the rest are coated with dust. Pascal's respirator lets out a mournful hiss before he says grimly, "The right of operation has been repeatedly and blasphemously violated, requesting the identification and punishment of the deplorable acolyte entrusted with caring for the spirit of this machine." Okay, let's try and repair. After a series of creaks and groans, the cogitator's dusty screen lights up, on it are several lines of text section headings. Praise the Omnissiah. The machine spirit of this cogitator is aggrieved but willing to serve. Accompanied by the crackling of a binaric prayer, Pascal's mechandendrites gently place a couple of keys lying on the floor back into place. Welcome. The screen flickers a few times before revealing to the world a text in Low Gothic in the name of the founder of Footfall Station, Conqueror of Stars, Builder of Outpost, the noblest rogue trader Perissimus Dwayne, and on behalf of all of his descendants, I welcome you. This cogitator was installed on the order of the illustrious Parsimus, so that the needy may tap into the flow of his wisdom. Cast your eyes upon the list of sections and choose what you wish to know. Abelard's brow furrows. Parsimus Dwayne? I've never heard of such a rogue trader house. Whoever this Parsimus was, he sure thought big. Lord Captain Parsimus Dwayne, one of the trailblazers of the Koronus Expanse, and this station's founder. I've read about his great deeds. Lord Dwayne was once a colonel of the Astra Militarum, but by his will later inherited a warrant. He accumulated enough power to gather a small fleet of loyal allies and venture out to conquer the Koronus Expanse. They say Footfall was meant to be his personal palace world, but the construction dragged on for decades, and Lord Parsimus eventually died of old age. His enemies instantly tore Footfall to pieces and turned it into the bastion of humanity we know today, one that is full of bandits, privateers, hustlers, and rogue traders. Pleased with herself, Cassia nods slightly to let everyone know that the lecture is over. Thank you, Cassia. About Footfall? Footfall Station has been envisioned by the great Parsimus Dwayne as a place in the stars, as majestic as the spirit and mind of its creator. As of the year of this cogitator's installation, merely a small fraction of the great Parsimus's design has yet been made a reality, but already their audacity and grandeur are staggering. Footfall is to become the gateway to the savage and barely explored Koronus Expanse, a foothold for future conquests by the Imperium and the noble Parsimus Dwayne, who acts by the Emperor's will. It wheezes and blinks, trying to shut down. Attempt an emergency repair. Succeeded. The cogitator whirs and the screen turns back on. One of the first structures on Footfall was the colossal statue of the Emperor. A whole asteroid was used for the creation of this sculpture, but even its titanic proportions cannot convey the awe that every faithful servant of the Imperium feels before the Master. The statue is the center of Footfall in the same way that the Emperor is the center and heart of the Imperium. As construction progresses, new, smaller asteroids are being attached to the statue, their surface serving as a foundation for glorious palaces and temples, and their inner tunnels as home for the commoners and rabble. Okay, Parsimus Dwayne's design. The cogitator flickers and grunts before displaying a tapestry of text. The great Parsimus Dwayne intends to conquer the Koronus Expanse and build the most grandiose structure which will shine through the ages, praising the names of its creator and his descendants. Footfall, the Palace of the Stars, the glory of the great Parsimus's deeds will live on throughout the ages in his grand designs. It hisses and grunts, tries to clean its insides by spewing out dust and detritus through its cracks. It hisses for a while, then the screen flickers and once more shows the words the great Parsimus Dwayne intends to conquer. Sorry, so much reading. I had to take a moment. Oh, man. Honestly, I've done so much reading in the last 2 episodes, I can feel it in my voice. I'm gonna lose it soon if I'm not careful. May have to take a break in between this episode and the next. The spirit of the machine is enraged and will perform its function no more. I will see to it that the profaners responsible for its maintenance are marked for servo penance. Okay.
Let us not dawdle.
I did it.
Okay. The statue undoubtedly depicts Parsimus Dwayne, the legendary rogue trader who founded Footfall. Alright, this is the guy. Oh, this is the Hieronymus Doloroso. The man with a face so drawn it appears to be made of nothing but skin and bone fixes his unblinking, bird-like eyes on you. The priest's simple black clothes have next to no adornments, and they do nothing to mask his unhealthy gauntness. In a cracked voice he says, "The Emperor protects." "The Emperor protects, Reverend." "But he protects only those who are pure of heart. Do you think yourself one of them? Be leery of this conviction of yours. Many who have risen to the pinnacle of faith have fallen from it into the embrace of pride, most degenerate. And you must be the young House Valancius. That name carries weight, and it is a burdensome one. For its reputation suggests that Theodora encumbered it with many a transgression." Really? Wait, what? Its reputation suggests that Theodora encumbered it with many a transgression. I wonder, will you seek to shed them, or will you carry them onward, picking them along the way like ripe fruit and savoring their sweet poison? You're gonna have to explain yourself. You're saying Theodora was a transgressor? A woman of great gifts, but few considered virtue to be one of them. People whispered that power had corrupted her, made her believe that she was entitled to anything she wanted. It is known that she showed cordiality to Xenos, broke taboos, and violated dogmas. Then again, so do nearly all rogue traders. Well, we are the Emperor's anointed. I act at his command as evidenced by his signature on my warrant. And did he grant it to you personally? The Emperor has entrusted his servants with the future of humanity, but people are too weak and flawed to prove themselves worthy of his trust. Only suffering can cleanse us, but we fear it and thus remain sullied. Keep up this attitude and you'll be featuring in my next confession. And what misdeed will you be confessing? Curiosity sparks in the bony face of his as the corner of his mouth lowers in a crooked smirk. Will it frighten me? Alright, dude, he's not scared. Hieronymus, he's got balls, this guy. So 2 heretical options, or we can go dogmatic. I do not wish to enter into a debate with you. A predictable response. He looks at Argenta, who is standing nearby, and his voice softens slightly. Greetings, sister. I congratulate you on your return. Was your pilgrimage fruitful? It was, Reverend. Let it be known to you that Theodora von Valancius' ship was attacked by servants of the archenemy, who appall the heart of any righteous soul, she says, nearly hissing with fury. And not all of them met a fitting end. Some fled, and more than that, their blasphemous words clearly pointed to this attack being part of a larger design. Reverend Hieronymus, I wish to join the esteemed rogue trader's crew and help protect the von Valancius dynasty from the forces of the archenemy. I am divesting myself of the responsibility of guarding the Footfall reliquary. Sister Argenta stood by my side during the assault on the ship, and I could use her assistance going forward. Hieronymus nods in thought. Follow the call of your soul, sister. The Footfall reliquary will be preserved even without your contribution, as it was in all the years preceding your arrival. Hieronymus smiles sadly. I know what it is that calls you to follow the rogue trader, Sister Argenta. You seek combat, for it helps you to forget how hollow and worthless our lives truly are. It offers the illusion of meaning. Perhaps you will relinquish this illusion one day. Or perhaps you will die before that day comes. Regardless, I wish you luck on your new path. But before you start on the path towards your new destiny, I have a request to make. Of you and your companion. Many among my flock are from the poorest, most dispossessed people on Footfall. They've brought me troubling news from Footfall's shadow quarters, in the darkest corners where the Legion's wardens do not venture. Taint has taken root. Footfall is consumed by profanity, but even here true heresy, serving the archenemy, is a rarity. The cultists who now dwell in the shadow quarters mark their abodes with the sun inscribed in blue and gold, and perform strange rituals in secret. The weak find solace in believing these reports to be rumors, but I well know that evil lurks all around us, and wish to see retribution. We will verify this rumor, Reverend Hieronymus. With great pleasure. Argenta puts her hand on the stock of her weapon. I almost wish for the rumor to be true. My heart yearns to battle some heretics. This is where I bid you goodbye, sister. Noble analog vernacular, is there more you wish to ask me about? Tell me about yourself. Neither my past nor my present hold any secrets, but take heed when gazing into my heart, for many dark thoughts lurk within. What is troubling your heart? Bad omens, dark times have come, ships from the Imperium barely appear in the Koronus Expanse anymore. In Footfall Shadow's quarters, taint thrives, and the people here are corrupt enough to succumb to it gladly. Rumors around the Expanse say that the accursed Xenos have grown bold and are rearing their heads. They attack ships and settlements, walk under the suns of Imperial worlds like kings instead of cowering in the shadows. What next? What adversities await us if such disgrace is happening already? He shakes his head sternly. There's more and more talk of how poorly things are going in the Expanse. Some days it seems I could take 2 steps without hearing some peasant pontificating on the matter. Even if it is as dire as they say, the Von Valancius realm will not crumble under the blows of fate, no matter how devastating. Chin up, Lord Captain. This is no time to lose heart and lament your lot. Not only is your hope false, it is also dangerous. Among his servants there have been people of greater integrity who sullied themselves in their attempts to rise above the rest. Who were you in the past? A wretched fiend, blinded by my ambitions. I served in my home planet's Adeptus Administratum Division. I was a shrewd and sly bureaucrat, and I soared to great heights to the very chair of prefect. In 30 years, I turned my home from a withered fringe colony into a prosperous world. Our wealth grew as we bloomed. But the bloom was a veneer for rot. Opulence has depraved us, and luxury had seduced us with its sordid promises. The planet's denizens no longer wished to pray or work, and they only sought entertainment and dangerous philosophies. 1,000 vile heresies and 1,000,000 appalling vices, bred on my world like mold on a Nutribar. In those days, I saw my own eyes the shameless ugliness of the soul. I repented of my hubris, left the position of prefect, and became a traveling missionary. I have been one ever since. As for my world, 20 years later, the Holy Inquisition consigned it to purifying flames. And so, now that you are sated with baseness, you think you can lecture people. Dude, this dude is so base. He nods calmly. You are quite right. I am a wicked, irredeemable scoundrel. Shall we embrace, brother? Shit talk is real. Alright, that was good. That was a good comeback. I am surprised that you had any to begin with. Alright. I've got to take a break. I have to take a break. I can't continue reading like this. Okay. Thank you all for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.
I'd like to give a very special shout out to my patron supporters: Darren York, ZTD, Knife Namaste, Kyle the Monarch, Chris Murphy, JW, Quinless, Vlado101, Andy Ford, Bruce Wizzle, Black Mamba 90, Eureka Gecko, A Happy Fat Panda, Turkeyfoot 27, Pedo Kuto, Shadow Raven, and Nadia N. If you would also like to join this tier or any others, check out my memberships or my Patreon in the description down below.